Wild Beast, or Wildebeest as some people call it, is a wooden roller coaster located at Canada's Wonderland in Vaughan, Ontario. It was originally named Wildebeest or Wild Beast from 1981 to 1996, when it was renamed to Wild Beast in 1997. The ride was reverted to its original name in 2019. It is one of the 5 original roller coasters that debuted with the park in 1981, and is one of the 3 wooden coasters at Canada's Wonderland, modeled after a ride at Coney Island amusement park in Cincinnati, Ohio, specifically Wildcat. The other is the mighty Canadian Mindbuster. The ride is a double out and back coaster encompassing a figure 8 design. The ride was designed by Curtis D. Summers, but is based on the original Coney Island's Wildcat, designed by Herbert Schmeck. It was constructed in-house under the direction of Summers. The coaster was not built by PTC, despite a plaque at the operator's booth in several published reports that claims it was. PTC stopped building coasters in 1979. The construction crew comprised workers who had previously built for PTC. The 2 28-passenger trains were supplied by the Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters. Unlike the 3-row PTC trains on mighty Canadian Mindbuster, Wild Beast utilizes shorter 2-row cars that are designed to be better to navigate turns. Curtis D. Summer continued to use this design at other Taft-owned parks, including Kings Dominion in Virginia, where the coaster, which opened in 1982, is known as Grizzly. Though similar layout, the ride was tempered with when reproduced as the Bush Beast at Wonderland Sydney in 1985, and at California's Great America as Grizzly in 1986. On to the layout. After departing from the station, you'll take a left turn and some straight track into your chain lift. Climbing up to a max height of 82 feet. You will then drop at a 78-foot drop, reaching a max speed of 56 miles per hour. And during this drop, you will notice how rough the coaster is, but we'll talk about that later. And then you rise up into a slow turnaround that's relatively flat, and then after you do 180, you look back at the chain lift, and then you do a drop, and then over an airtime hill with, I thought, was decent floater airtime, and then up into a right turn that really crawls through the turn, and then into another airtime hill that doesn't really deliver, then another one that gives slight airtime, and then into another 180 degree bank turn, but this one is taken much faster than the first one. Then after that you drop down, and then you experience another airtime hill with slight airtime, and then another hop into the brake run, ending your short but painful ride on Wild Beast. My opinions on this ride is that it definitely needs to be retracked, but I kind of like it not being retracked because I love the way the roughness is. When I rode it, I only rode it once, unfortunately. It was like in row 7, I think. Yeah, going down the drop, like, there was some great floater airtime down that drop. Like, I was just looking down at the train, right? And I was floating out of my seat, and I could see the train shake around me. And then the second we started to pull out of the drop, slammed back in the seat and just rattled. It was crazy, but it was so much fun. I think it really defines a coaster being rough as like character and feeling more natural than other coasters ever would. But only 3,150 feet of track. This ride is small, but is a very enjoyable ride, and I do not think it should be retracked. I know I just said it should, but for the GP, the general guest in the general park, And for like the general public, it would be so much better if they retracked it, because more people would like this and more people would, enjoy the ride. But yeah, in my opinion, as an enthusiast, I would not retrack it, because I do like it rougher like that, because it adds more character and is much funner ride. And either way, it cost $1.2 million in 1981 to build, so I don't think putting a few $1 million into retracking would be that much of a big deal for, the GPs. But with 2 trains with 7 cars, you get 28 riders per train. I don't know the capacity on it, but whenever we went, it had no line, and we went in September, early September. I don't know what the crowds are like in early September, because my home park is Cedar Point, not Canada's Wonderland, so I wouldn't be sure if that's a busy time. Alpine Fury had over 2.5 hour wait, so that's telling me it was really busy. But Wild Beast had no line. It was walk on, like maybe 1 or 2 trains, and that was it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this ride, and yeah, that's pretty much it for today's review on Wild Beast. Just looking at all the stats right now, and it says Fastlane's available, so if you needed to know that, it's available. Anyways, that should wrap up today's video. Wild Beast, I will give 6 out of 10. Great airtime when there's airtime. Great floater. Very rough. Enjoy the roughness though. That just bonuses. And it's a really slow layout. Like, there's a few times where you're just crawling through and you're like, okay, when is it gonna do something here? That's it for today's Wednesday video. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you and goodbye.